something at stake and something to trade. About 10 years ago, I finished writing a book on how might we invent ecological futures when we have no model to follow. And part of that was the politics of systemic invention. I wasn't going to show you the last slide, but I may have to do it because it gives a summary of that. What I wanted to talk about instead was a problem I've faced over the past 2 months. I've been living in London for 30 years doing scenario work, and that included 10 years of work in East Africa on the future of East African societies. Out of that 10 years, while I was writing my book, 6 of us came together, man in England, 5 or 6 people in East Africa and myself, and we decided to create an experiment in systemic invention. We're each working with our own land and our own communities to test ways where we can reward people who support the natural world, to include environmental goods in our economic and social system. As coordinator, we're doing this on equal terms. African knowledge has as much relevance as Western knowledge. I had nothing at stake, so I bought this land on the banks of the Hudson River with money my parents left me, and then my practice died, and I ended up having to live here, which was not the plan. But that is where I am. And this is the larger picture of it. That little yellow triangle is my house, and I live just south of a little hamlet called Queemans, which is part of a larger township, the town of Queemans, which runs back into the hills. The hamlet has 800 people. It's very old. It goes back to it was founded by the Dutch in the 17th century. And it's had a variety of very successful businesses, most of which have left. The waterfront is our greatest asset, according to a comprehensive plan done in 2006. But people are leaving. New York is 135 miles away, and it's too far for the rich New Yorkers to come up and rescue us. So they don't bother, unlike Hastings. It's also caught in a very vicious circle. You'll all know these kinds of things. It turns out in the 60s and 70s, technological change and globalization meant businesses started leaving, and good jobs left. That meant fewer people were around, and you can all recognize this: loss of tax revenue, loss of talent, loss of young people, a declining quality of life. That led to particularly a loss of revenue and talent, meant we have more capricious government, and it's less effective. We also have a legacy of patronage politics, thanks to the Irish contingent in Albany, which is very nearby. And because of that, a lot of popular apathy. There's nothing I can do, so why should I bother? We have a town board of 5 people, only one of whom lives in our hamlet. The rest have nothing to do with us and think we're the armpit of Queemans, and there are only drug dealers and prostitutes there. Capricious and less effective government has led to a culture of very defensive individualism and a loss of collaborative skills, which is there anyway, but they've declined even further. All of that, of course, means less trust. And with capricious and less effective government, we're either exposed to very predatory investment, or the good businesses just don't come, and we're back to the beginning. To make things even worse, with all of this, we have very different points of view, and there's a lack of genuine engagement and respect, which of course only reinforces the lack of trust and the lack of effective government. This is a vicious cycle. I drew this because we are, one last point, which you'll recognize. This is a home rule state. Whatever this town board of 5 people decide has no appeal, short of a lawsuit that will cost 15 or hundreds of thousands of dollars. On Monday, the town decided, Monday night, which is why I'm still a little bit steamed up, decided that they wanted to expand the Port of Queemans, which has taken land on the Hudson River, which had been designated in the comp plan for residences looking over a natural park, and expand an operation that's recycling waste, and they want to use the new land for building bridges in New York City. Now, if I can get, how do you make that Google thing work? I don't know. Anyway, there's a map that shows the land behind there, if I can get to the internet. And it should be good. But what happened at the town meeting was the town voted to support this man. Everything's going to be great. The port will be the answer to our problems. People said, slow down and consult. What do we have to trade? the sturgeon. It's an endangered species. Otherwise, we have no power. Point. Thank you.